putting the GS on a racetrack, you don't have to shy away from it. It's a very sportive car, cool compromise also in a limousine, so you have both worlds in one car. The hybrid technology is extremely interesting. I'm a fan because that's the future. It's what we have in the race car when we're chasing down 24 hours on the racetrack in Le Mans. You're going into the hybrid technology car. That instantly I can feel also in the engine response. Whilst the competitor I compared it to, for example, the BMW 5 Series, it takes a while until the combustion engine is coming in. Here on the 450, you instantly have power delivery from the electric engines. Great advantage. Handling is very good. The moment you really want to go for it, it switches on the steering feedback, steering feel, it gets quite sporty, quite direct. It's instantly got a lot of feedback and it's very precise. I can feel the road, I can feel the tires, what's going on. I could carry 5-6 kilometers an hour more on the cornering. The four-wheel steering makes the car very precise. You don't really feel it, but I know the engineering reason behind it. The dynamic driving system is giving you a real advantage. When you just position the car in the corners, you can carry much more speed and be much more comfortable. With the hybrid technology, electric power delivers very fast. And then when the real engine comes into sound, you still hear the nice horsepowers which are under the hood. A lot of passion in the car from the driving point of view. So for me it's one of the finest and best cars out there. Spot on technology. They let me loose in this rocket ship, and yes, Lexus can produce a super sports car, and it's here. Remembering my days in Formula 1, coming here to Estoril, absolutely fantastic stuff. You know, I can still picture myself when I was not much smaller, but much younger. I really like the super aggressive look. Super smooth driving behavior, and that's what I want. I can be under control all the time. When you just take this car, you put it into the corner, it naturally just wants to turn in. It's quite a neutral handling, which for a super sports car it's exactly what you want. It's then down to the driver to actually dictate the car balance. And then the nice moment comes when you put the throttle on the car. It's just settling down nicely on the rear end. Position it on under power, and that's exactly what it's made for. Just listen to the downshift. How cool is that? Really impressive art of engineering. Okay, that was the ride in the little rocket ship. Now the problem is the keys stay mine. I love it. I can just take the car and run away.
part of my motor racing career was developing race cars, because that's what you do. You're trying to introduce new systems, new technologies to go faster. And now coming with hybrid technology from Toyota is a real big leap forward. And I really like this challenge to integrate such new technology into racing, simply because it will give me more performance, it is more fuel efficient, but I'm also very proud to say that what we are doing here will later on benefit road car technology. So altogether I think this is something very special.
For the moment, I would say the chassis is very strong, but I hope we can develop the hybrid system, and I hope that will be our best advantage compared to the other car. And I think that will be the key of the car.
To have a hybrid technology on the car is a completely new challenge, and yeah, it's a big challenge, but the hybrid system is kind of expertise for Toyota, so I'm quite excited to race with hybrid technology, and now we are on the way to learn how to use it in the best way, but I think it's getting there, so I'm sure you find a strange noise in the pit lane, not noise, quiet car in the pit lane, and I'm sure there is a lot of new things for the fans, so I'm looking forward to show it to you, and I'm looking forward to race with it.
Hybrid, I think, is the technology. I mean, this year and for the next few years, it's going to be the real future. So everybody is going to push very hard in hybrid, and I think Toyota is the most advanced manufacturer. So it's really good to be part of Toyota, because I will learn a lot, and I'm really sure it's going to be, and it's going to help us a lot during the weekend of Le Mans.
Right, so yeah, my feeling to drive Le Mans circuit on the simulator for the first time. It was exciting, as I didn't know the track at all before, so it's good to have an experience in a simulator beforehand to drive in a real world. And yeah, the track is quite challenging. There's a lot of long straight, and the speed goes up to over 300 kph. And there's a lot of high-speed corners, which I didn't know before, so I found that track is very exciting. The point I like for the Le Mans track is, I think the end of the track, there's a lot of a sequence of high-speed corners, and it's like driving through, I think, nearly 200 kph with a fifth gear or fourth gear, and the track looks very narrow there, so I think to drive in a real it's going to be very, maybe sometimes scary, but for the driver it's a challenge part, so I like there most. So obviously the characteristic of the Le Mans track, firstly it's that the track is partly street track, so the surface is very bumpy, and probably it's going to be more slippier than some other track. So we have to be very careful for all the bumps and curves, and yeah, obviously we have to drive there for 24 hours. So it's a big challenge for the car's reliability, and also for the driver it's going to be very tough. So yeah, everything makes the Le Mans track very special, I think. Yeah, what surprised me was that yeah, there's a very long straight and hard braking, which I knew that before, but also there's a lot of high-speed corners, and the track is quite narrow. So to race there together with some other GT cars and some which is, I think there's a lot of speed difference between our car and their car. So to race here, I think it's gonna be a big challenge. Okay, so how I feel to drive the simulator is that basically, it looks from outside, it looks like a big video game or something, but it is very realistic, and all the steering feel and all the pedals and everything are exactly the same as the real car. And the best thing is that we can learn the track beforehand to drive in a real track. And as I don't know the Le Mans track at all, it's very good help, and I'm sure it can help us, for the 3 drivers. I think the simulator can help the car development, as we can test a lot of things on the simulator, and we can collect the data from the testing. So we can test a lot of aero data and all the mechanical stuff on the car. And as the track time is very limited in the real world, it's very good to have a simulator to gain the test time. Firstly, I started with a racing kart when I was 10 years old, and then I did 8 years of racing kart, and then I moved to Formula Toyota when I was 18, and actually I had a very good competition with Kamui at that time, and it was very exciting year. And then I did 2 years of Japanese F3, and in 2006 I moved to Europe, and then 1 year of Euro Series, and then after that I did 1 year of GP2. Then finally in 2008 I had the opportunity to get into Formula 1, and I have the 2 years experience in 2008 and 2009 with the Williams Toyota team. And then in 2010 I had 1 year off because I had a quite difficult year in 2009. But then I managed to go to Japan in 2011. I did a Super GT, and I had a very good year with Formula Nippon. Then in 2012, now I have an opportunity to get into Le Mans with Toyota. My feeling about joining Toyota Le Mans team is that it's great experience and a great opportunity, because Toyota has a very good achievement in the past Le Mans race, and but still they haven't managed to win the Le Mans race, 24 hours race. So I think this is going to be a big challenge for all Toyota, and the Le Mans is very important project for Toyota. So as a driver, it's very great feeling that they chose me for such an important project. I think Super GT experience would help quite a lot. As you saw last year, André Lotterer and Benoit Treluyer has won Le Mans 24 hours for Audi, and actually they are the good competitors, and actually André was my teammate in Super GT. So as you can see, I think it's a good help, and because there's a lot of differences of the car speed, even in Le Mans, it's bigger than GT though. To go through the traffic and not to lose lap time too much, I think experience in GT will help a lot. It's gonna be, I think, partly strange because I'm more used to with the Formula car, so it's gonna be, I think, strange feeling. But at the same time, I have experience with a GT car in Japan, so I think it's not gonna be too much of a problem, hopefully. So to race at Le Mans 24 hours, it's gonna be a first experience. But I have been to Le Mans to race with a F3, and I have experience with a short track. So to race with a bigger track, I don't think I have any experience. But always, it's gonna be nice to be at Le Mans, and especially to race at 24 hours race, because it is one of the biggest race events in the world. So I'm sure it's going to be a great experience. To race in the night condition, it's going to be, I think, strange experience. Actually, I have raced in Japanese 24 hours race with a touring car. So I have raced in the night, and it was okay at that time, which I was a lot younger at that time. But yeah, I have to find out how is it going to be in this car, and because it has such a lot of speed, I think it's going to be difficult. But as I have 2 other teammates who has a lot more experience in the night driving, I think I can have a good help from them. Yeah, obviously my father has experience to racing Le Mans long time ago, but actually I haven't spoken to him so much. So I think he's gonna give me some advice, but which is gonna be small one. I cannot speak French so much. I mean, I can say bonjour or merci, ça va, but not more than that. Okay, so to race with a hybrid car, it's gonna be, well, I haven't experienced to race with a hybrid car, so it's gonna be completely new experience. And I think that this is gonna be almost first proper hybrid car to racing such a high level of racing. So I'm quite happy to be a part of the first project. The difference between the racing standard car and racing hybrid car is that I think the biggest difference will be the braking. And because a racing hybrid car has to recharge the energy under the braking, I think there's a lot of techniques. Mechanically, there's a lot of techniques which we need. And yeah, I think we have to focus on that point, especially in the testing, because that's the point where we have to have a fine-tuning. The hybrid is very important for Toyota. I mean, it is a kind of specialty for Toyota company, and basically they have started the hybrid system, probably the first one, as the first one in the world. So to bring it to the racing, it's a big challenge, but yeah, I'm sure as a driver we can have a very good hybrid system for the racing, and yeah, we can have a good performance. So I have driven the hybrid road car, which is the CT200 of Lexus, and actually that's my personal car at the moment, and it's a good fun to drive because you need a different technique, but basically, yeah, we can have a very good fuel consumption, and basically after I'm having CT, how to say, my driving style has completely changed, and now I'm doing very much like eco driving. My impressions about TMG is just this facility is very impressive. I mean, there's a lot of projects going on, and all the facilities are very advanced, and basically they can use, I mean, it's right on the edge all the time. So yeah, it's very impressive. Okay, so my relationship with the engineers, I think quite good. I mean, I've been working with them for, yeah, quite a long time, and I know them from the past. So I think it's going to be quite easy to work with them. It's still on the way. I mean, it's quite difficult to remember the way to go to some places because this facilities is really big. But now I'm getting used to, and at least I can find a way to go to the simulator. My German skills are not very good, but slightly better than French maybe. I can go to the restaurant by myself and can just say hello, and I can say Dankeschön, Bitteschön, and Zahlen bitte.
The design schedule of this car went through a very, let's say, classical schedule for a race car. We started with aero development because here really the longer you test, the best it is for performance. Then the rest has been driven by production lead time. So then we had to start by the gearbox, means immediately rear suspension, then monocoque, then front suspension, then final integration details. Nowadays, in, I would say, modern Le Mans racing, performance is a dominant factor. Unlike in the past where only reliability, or almost only reliability, was important, now we have to perform very well from the start of the race till the end. And in terms of aerodynamic performance, a closed car is a no-brainer. And a good aero-efficient car has to be closed. And since now 2 years, to have a closed car is not anymore a handicap in pit stops, so then the final decision was a kind of no-brainer. It had to be a closed car. Honestly, no, because except maybe the spirit and the passion which was already behind these two attacks, time have changed. I would say processes, possibilities have changed, so we had to do it with the tools we have available now. The car is going to enter the WEC Championship, so it has to be, I would say, a polyvalent car. But for sure, the main focus, the main driver for the concept of the car has been Le Mans. Performance before, and then we make a performance car reliable. I've been using from our F1 experience are all the processors. Most of the processors used in F1 are still applicable with some tuning, of course, but for example, the aerodynamic development went along the same routes, the same processes. Chassis design as well, we have been using extensively our previous experience, which is really just generic good race car design, including all the validation on test rigs and so on. So we have been working along the lines, along the processes we had defined at F1 time, including the operation of the car. Everything went through similar processes. The main thing which changes basically between F1 and Le Mans is the mileage target.
I will be joining Toyota, and for me it's a great feeling. It's always been a race that I wanted to take part in, and to be doing it with Toyota, it's going to be a great experience, and I'm really looking forward to it. Le Mans, I mean, is a great circuit, it's a fantastic race. It's going to be difficult because it's a really long circuit, and I've been in the simulator to try to learn it as quick as possible. So I'm really looking forward to the race, especially with all the spectators. You know, it's a full week, and I think you're going to feel the atmosphere, and it's going to build up all over the weekend. So it's going to be a great weekend for sure. The simulator is a very important tool nowadays in motorsport, because you can test things that you cannot test on the circuit. You can test a lot. It costs a lot of money if you want to come on the circuit, and it's definitely something good to prepare yourself. And I've been a couple of times already in the simulator, and I could build up a good experience. Now we will see how testing goes on the real circuit, but I'm sure the combination of the two is going to help us a lot. Toyota is something special for me, because my family is actually selling Toyotas in Switzerland, so I've been in the Toyota world since a very long time. Sports car is something different to Formula One, but it's definitely something that passionates me, especially the long racing. You know, when you go and when you look at the race of Le Mans 24 hours through the night with the lights on the car and all the things you need to do well. It's a story of a team together, all the drivers trying to push in the same direction, and I think what you can achieve there is the biggest thing you can achieve in motor racing. it's always, I believe, difficult to set our goals, but when I race to win, so this is clear for me. But now let's see how testing goes and how the start of the weekend will go in Le Mans.
Yeah, my feeling to drive Le Mans circuit on the simulator for the first time, it was exciting as I didn't know the track at all before, so it's good to have an experience in a simulator beforehand to drive in a real world. And yeah, the track is quite challenging. There's a lot of long straight and the speed goes up to over 300 kph. And there's a lot of high-speed corners, which I didn't know before. So I found that track is very exciting. Yeah, what surprised me was that yeah, there's a very long straight and hard braking, which I knew that before. But also there's a lot of high-speed corners, and the track is quite narrow. So to race there together with some other GT cars and some which is, I think there's a lot of speed difference between our car and their car. So yeah, to race there, I think it's going to be a big challenge. From outside, it looks like a big video game or something, but it is very realistic, and all the steering feel and all the pedals and everything are exactly the same as the real car. And the best thing is that we can learn the track beforehand to drive in a real track. And as I don't know the Le Mans track at all, it's very good help, and I'm sure it can help us, I mean, for the three drivers. So my impressions about TMG is just this facility is very impressive. I mean, there's a lot of projects going on, and all the facilities are very advanced, and basically they can use, I mean, it's right on the edge all the time. So yeah, it's very impressive. Okay, so my relationship with the engineers, I think quite good. I mean, I've been working with them for Yeah, quite a long time, and I know them from the past, so I think it's going to be quite easy to work with them.